Hello, friends. Welcome again. My name is Dr. SUMEET, and I'm a chemical engineer by profession and a gold medalist from Bombay University. And done my master's in management from the University of Illinois, United States, and I'm a doctorate in the science of NLP. Me and my wife have been conducting several corporate workshops since 1997 and have trained over 400 corporate companies and 20,000 individuals. We conduct workshops for teenagers, for young adults, for working professional, working women, senior managers, and even retired senior citizens on various topics, right from their personal aspects as well as the management uh, aspect also. Today, friends, I'm going to talk on something very interesting which makes sense to all of us and which we all of us need it in these difficult times of corona. Let us look into how to develop humor to boost our immunity. So let us look at what is humor. Definition of humor is quality of being funny or something that makes people laugh or create good feelings in self or others. Humor creates laughter, amusement, or a smile and a sense of well-being in human beings who are the only creatures created by God having the quality to laugh. Animals, birds cannot laugh, friends. God has given this quality only to human beings. Humor can be a joke, it can be a story, it can be a metaphor, talking in third person, a poem, can be a shayari in Indian context, anecdote, pun, or even a satire. Sense of humor keeps one de-stressed and at ease all the time. Let us look at some of the humorous quotes quoted by some famous people. Abraham Lincoln used to say, better to remain silent and be thought as a fool than to speak out and remove all the doubts. So true. Albert Einstein once said, men marry women with the hope that they will never change. Women marry men with the hope that they will change. Invariably, at the end, both are disappointed. Doctors are just as same as lawyers. The only difference is that lawyers merely rob you, whereas doctors rob you and kill you too. Anton said that. Arthur Clarke said, I don't believe in astrology. I am a Sagittarius and we are skeptical. A typical example of a sarcasm. Humor should not be used against any kind of a caste, creed, religion, gender, or a race. Or it should not hurt anyone. It should not belittle anyone. It should be used without caution. Whenever you're using humor, you should see the people around you. If there are two senior people around you, use it with caution. Or it should not be out of context or be vulgar in any way, especially if uh, women are around you. And neither it should be overused. Humor should be used very cautiously, and you should be frugal in using it, and you should think twice before using it, especially in the working scenario. What does humor does to us internally? Laughter de-stresses, decreases the stress hormones, and it increases our immune cells and infection fighting antibodies, thus improving our resistance to disease. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins and neuropeptides and good hormones like serotonin, oxytocin in women, and these bodies' natural feeling, good feeling chemicals. Endorphins basically promote an overall sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve pain. Milne said, people say nothing is impossible, but I don't do anything every day. As per NLP, humor cuts off the left brain temporarily so that information goes direct to the right brain or the subconscious mind. We as NLP trainers, friends, we intentionally use humor every 5-10 minutes so that some concepts which we want to put it in your mind deeply, we use humor and immediately after that we talk of something serious because we know that information goes directly into the right brain or to the subconscious mind, which you will never forget. Let us look at these navarasas. Navarasas are the rasas or the what we say expression of emotions. In classical dancing, it is used very effectively, whether it is Bharatnatyam or Kuchipudi. or any other kind of an Indian dance. These nine expressions are the dancers are basically trained in that. The first one is love, which is Shingara. Second one is laughter, which is Hasya Rasa. Then kind-heartedness or compassion is Karuna Rasa. Showing anger, Raudra. And next one is courage, that Veera. We are showing the Veera Rasa. Fear is Bhayanaka. Then disgust is Bhaibhit Rasa. Wonder or surprise, Adbud Rasa. And last is peace and tranquility, which is Shanta Rasa. These are the Navarasas, friends, which are taught to all the classical dancers, which is the ABCD of classical dancing. I want to narrate a very true story of gentleman Dr. Norman Cousins, who was a senior lecturer in UCLA in the School of Medicine in way back in 1940. He had to make a trip to Russia, and when he was on the airport, at that time they used to keep the engines of the plane on in spite of the flight being on ground. In fact, nowadays they have stopped it after this particular incident. It seems he was affected by the octane gas which was coming out from the engine of the plane, and he fell so seriously ill that in fact the doctors gave him hardly 6 months to live. They could not treat him because he had multiple problems within him, apart from lung failure, as well as kind of a cancer, and a lot of issues were there within him. And doctors had lost faith, and they gave up, and they said there's no more treatment we can do for you. Since he was a lecturer and he was from the School of Medicine himself, he voluntarily went home, and he uh, instead of weeping or crying, whatever doctor said that okay, you're going to die in next 6 months time, he started taking a high dose of vitamin C. And what he did, he started seeing humorous programs on the TV for the next 4 or 5 months. And lo and behold, friends, he recovered completely. Completely, he recovered within 3 months. And after that, all the diseases which he was suffering from were almost gone. So what happened was, then he wrote, in fact, this famous book, which is a bestseller even now, which is called as Anatomy of Illness. It is available on. It's a very short book, and you can in fact buy it on Amazon. Also, it's called the Anatomy of Illness. So, friends, as I was trying to tell you that humor gives a lot of help as such to improve your health, especially your immune system. I think all of us are very familiar with some of the humorous characters in the films. Like Charlie Chaplin was the one who brought humor into the film industry. And then at that time, there were two comic characters called Abbott and Costello. Then, of course, all of us know post 1950, the Disney characters, Tom and Jerry, Woody Woodpecker, and the other characters of Disney. And of course, later on, we have anchors like Whoopi Goldberg, Jackie Chan, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey had done a very wonderful role in the movie The Mask. I think very few people can do that kind of a role. And I think all of us are very familiar with Lauren and Hardy. When we look at Indian scenario, we have some very famous comedians from the time the Hindi films started way back in 1940 or 1950. Johnny Walker was one of the most famous comedians in the Hindi films. Then we have the famous Arshad Varsi, who's done a fantastic role in Munna Bhai, and Paresh Rawal is a evergreen character who very subtly uses comedy, but makes us all of us laugh. And of course, the classic comedian Johnny Lever. He is my favorite because the kind of voice modulation and the kind of voices he removes, and with every and also the the sounds which he removes are something very beautiful. Then we have Satish Kaushik. I think all of you remember Goodman the Latin, the, famous as Calendar Man. And of course, Kader Khan and Govinda have formed a very good team for many films they have done together, and both have excelled in. Govinda is a very intelligent person and a very natural comedian. Then of course we have also had female comedians like Tuntun as well as Bharti Singh. Of late, she has been quite famous on the TV. So these are the people who have, for so many years, have made us laugh and made us comfortable. The moment we see these names in the movie, we get motivated to watch those movies. Then we know if Paresh Rawal is there, then definitely it will be a comedy movie. Similarly, we have very famous plays and films. We have humorous plays like My Fair Lady. I think some of you would have seen this movie, and if you have not seen it, it's available on YouTube. You can have a look. One of the most fantastic comedy movies are there. Then Sound of Music, which is a kind of a combination of music along with comedy, and a lot of good stuff is there. In fact, Shakespeare's all the plays, like You Like It, As You Like It, Midsummer Night Dream, Comedy of Errors, Merchant of Venice. These have been very, very humorous plays which have been used very, very effectively on the stage. In fact, most of the Indian artists or even the foreign ones, before they come into the films, they are actually go through a rigorous training on stage, because stage artists are even more difficult. Then we have another humorous play. Some of you would have watched it, called The Funny Money. Then in the film, the famous ones, which are the foreign ones, is The Mask, which I just now told you. Jim Carrey has done an excellent job. The kind of facial expressions and the eye movements which he has showed, along with the digital graphics which they have used with modern technology, is something out of the world. Similarly, our famous Amir Khan has done a fantastic role in Three Idiots. Keeps you glued to your seats when you watch this movie. I have watched this movie 5 times, and to be frank with you, I don't mind seeing it even the sixth time. Very, very well made movie, and sure most of you have watched it. Then, of course, Entertainment of Akshay Kumar. He has also done a very good role. And, of course, the Golmaal series, the Rohit Shetty has done a fantastic job by using very clean comedy in Golmaal series. Munna Bhai, I think all of us have know, and then the English ones are Ghostbusters as well as the Disney cartoons. These are some of the, legendary films which I think will be evergreen in our lifetime. So I want to give you some entertainment today. I'll tell you some jokes as well as some funny stories as well as some shairis, so that you have a good laugh. It seems one NRI from the US had come to India and he wanted a bride and get married and go back. So he put an advertisement in the paper saying that, okay, he wants a bride of da, 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 this and this caste or this thing. And one of the gentlemen actually saw that particular ad. And when he saw that ad, he invited this gentleman to his house. And then his English was not very good. So he started speaking to NRI, trying to impress him. And he said, look, Mr. So-and-so, I have many daughters and all are girls. So that itself is a funny thing. And then, see, I have a small condition before you start talking. See, my first daughter is hardly 19 years old, and she is 19 years old, and if you get married to her, I'll give you in dowry 10 lakhs of rupees. Fine. He's not even allowing the boy to even talk. Then he said, my second daughter, she is about 28 years old, and if you get married to her, I'm going to give you 20 lakhs dowry. Then he said, my third daughter, she is about 30 years old, and if you get married to her, I'll give you 30 lakhs as dowry. Then he said, I have a daughter also of 40 years old. She's not getting married for several years for several reasons. And if you get married to her, I will give you 45 lakhs of dowry. And then my last daughter, she is 45 years old. And if you get married to her, I'll give you 50 lakhs of dowry. Now the boy started reacting. He said, sir, do you have any daughter above 50 years old? So I hope you enjoyed it. The next joke is about the famous Mulla Nasruddin from the Sufi, and many jokes and stories have been spun around him to give a concept. Mulla Nasruddin was, I believe, 60 years old, and he used to return from his shop to home every day late evening around 7:30, 8 o'clock. But he had a very doubting wife, and his wife was all the time doubting on Nasruddin whether he has some affair with some other lady. So one day our friend came home, and he used to come through the market, and that was a very dusty place, and a lot of things used to fall from the of different. So he used to wear a normal coat and come. So one day in the coat, she used to clean his coat. So she found a very big hair on his coat. So she immediately confronted Mullah and she said, Mullah, this is not good. You are having an affair with a lady. Yeah, Mullah said, Arey, bhaiya, at this age of 60, what affair I can have? You are unnecessarily doubting me. It is not good. Then she said, okay, okay. I'm keeping an eye on you. Then 1 week, 10 days passed and nothing happened. And then after a few days, she found a white hair on Mullah's coat. So then she again confronted Mullah and said, what is this? Earlier I found a long hair and this time it's a white hair. So I just can't believe it. You are having an affair with an old lady? Mullah said, no, 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 I'm not having any affair with anybody. Simply you're doubting. Unnecessary, you keep on doubting me for everything. Then it so seemed Mullah became a little clever and he became slightly careful. And every day, what he used to do before he used to enter home, he used to clean his coat very nicely and then only enter the house. So 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, and Mullah's wife did not get any hair at all. So doubting is doubting only. So what she did, she said, now Mullah, this is too much. You're having an affair with a bald lady? So I hope you enjoyed this one. Once an MD and CEO of a very big company hired a very beautiful secretary. She was not only very good looking with blue eyed and a very wonderful figure, but she was also very intelligent and highly educated. And she was very good in communication skills. So, our friend, MD and CEO, was in his late 40s, and all of us know in late 40s what happens, that people lose interest in life and everything looks very boring. But after he hired this lady had a quality that every day our friend CEO used to walk into the office. She used to say, good morning, sir, and how are you feeling today? And so this guy used to get very much motivated, and he used to feel very nice because somebody is giving him importance. And so like this, it seems normally used to come to the office by 10:30 or so, but now because of her he started coming to the office by 9:30 itself. That's the time she used to come. So his life suddenly became very, very interesting. So it so happened that one day was his birthday, and since she used to type his CV, she exactly knew his birthday. So that particular day, as soon as he walked inside, she said, many, 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 many happy returns of the day, and wish you a very happy birthday today. And she bought a bunch of roses and gave it to him. So he was thrilled. And he said, wow, even my wife has forgotten my birthday. My kids have also forgotten my birthdays. And even my dog did not look at me today. Oh, what a life. But now I think my life has changed because of her. And she was like a kind of a motivation factor for him. So this guy, now actually this joke is on assumption, that how people assume things. Because when you assume things, you make an ass of you and me, because every joke also has a meaning. So what happened is, she used to generally give him tea around 11 o'clock or so with some biscuits every day, and that was again a kind of a motivation factor for him. So she again came at around 11 o'clock with the tea and she with biscuits, and she said, sir, if you don't have too much of work, can we go for lunch today to Obrai Hotel? There is a very beautiful buffet they are serving with many, many dishes. Because it's your birthday, I want to make it very memorable. Now our MD was waiting for this chance. He wanted to go out with her anyway. So he was very, very excited about it. And he says, oh, why not? Why not? You also do your emails and other thing. I'll also finish up my work. And that's how. So let's leave by about 1 o'clock or so. So happened that our friend and this beautiful girl, both of them went to one of the to Abrai Hotel, and they just started with the soup and other things like that. And now, how how these 4 course, 5 course meals are. They start with soup, and then it ends with the dessert. So it so happened, by the time they reached the hotel, and by the time they started eating their this thing. So what happened was, time came around 4 o'clock or so when they left from there. So they she requested, say, sir, now it's already late. Can we go out, and can you just leave me to my house? My house is not very far away from here. So is it possible to leave me to my house? He said, oh yes, oh yes, no problem at all. Definitely you can come with me. So our friend drove her, and as they left out and they reached there, she used to stay in an apartment. And as she was just about to get down, um, she said, sir, I forgot to tell you that it seems my family has gone for a wedding to Chennai, and nobody is there at home. So if you don't mind, sir, if you can come and have a cup of coffee. Now see how his mind is working. Our CEO, his mind is working. He says, why she should tell me now only that her parents are not there? That means definitely she is interested in me. Definitely, that's why she is asking me to come. So then she said, okay, okay, do one thing. You get down here. I'll park the car and I'll come. So she got down, and they came, and they went together in the lift up. And as they went, she opened the key. She said, sir, if you don't mind, just I'll make the coffee, and you just sit in the hall, dining room, and I will just mix this thing, and I'll just take a shower and come. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Yeah, he said, no problem, absolutely no, and I'll watch the TV. Some cricket match was going on. So then again, see how his mind is working. Assumption, assumption, assumption. And he says, why she should tell me to wait here? Why she should tell me to take coffee here only? And why she should take shower at this time only? Why she can't take after I go back? See how the mind works. Cunning mind. Then she went inside the bedroom, and after some time, a faint voice came from the room. A faint voice came, sir, I am wearing scanty clothes. If you don't mind, can you come inside the bedroom? So our friend again is how his mind is. Now why she should call me? Why she should call me when she is inside the bedroom, and why she should say that I am wearing scanty clothes now? So what our friend did, in assumption, you make ass of you and me. He removed all his clothes. He became a digambar, and the only pair of clothes which he had was his socks. And stealthily he walked inside the room, which was completely dark. And as soon as he got into the bedroom, the lights came on, and his entire family and his staff, everybody was inside that room, and they were saying, happy birthday to you. So friends, a real happy birthday happened with our friend, and he was in his birthday suit. In one of the bars, every day one man used to visit to have either beer or scotch, and he used to walk in with an ostrich. The peculiar thing about this ostrich was it was a talking ostrich. So our friend used to go to the bar every day and say, I want one scotch, 60 ml. And he used to ask the ostrich, what will you have? And the ostrich used to say, I'll have the same thing. And like this, they used to, have it every day. Now, so after the drinks, he used to ask the bartender how much is the amount. So it used to be with tax, GST, it used to come some odd figure. So he asked him, oh, how much is the bill? So he said, oh, today your bill is $11.55. So he put his hand in his pocket of his coat, and exactly removed $10.55. So this kept on happening. Even the second day, he came with this ostrich, and he had a beer, 2 beers, and the ostrich also said, oh, I'll have the same thing. And then next day the bill came to about $22.35. And again he put his hand and exactly came out with the same note at $22.35. Now the bartender was very curious. He said, uh, he was just keeping quiet because of sophistication. It was a very sophisticated bar. No, normally they are not supposed to talk to their clients. So third day, fourth day, he could not keep quiet. He said, "Sir, if you don't mind, can you please tell me there are two things which are very odd about you. Every time I give you the bill, you put your hand and you come out with the exact change." And so he says, "Yes, yes. You see, it so happened that Aladdin kind of things happened with me. I was searching something in the attic, and I found one lamp. And the moment I found the lamp, I rubbed it as usual. And then again, when Bolo Mere Aka, one fellow came out, the genie said, 'What do you want?' So I asked the genie that every time I put my hand inside the pocket, I should come out with this exact change, whatever money I want." So that was the first boon he granted me. That's why every time you give me the bill, without even counting or looking, whatever change I come out, it is exactly the what you want. So that is the secret of that. Then he was again curious. He says, "What is the secret of this talking ostrich?" He said, "Oh, that's a long story. I told the genie by mistake, I want a chick with long legs. I want a chick with long legs." One day, a mother was waking up her child, asking him to go to school. So she woke him up at 5:30 as usual and says, "Come on, sonny, you have to go to the school." Now the child, as usual, replied, "Mommy, I don't want to go to the school. Nobody likes me at the school." She said, "But you have to go to the school." Then again he said, "No, no, nobody likes me. No teachers like me. Nobody likes me. None of my friends also like me. I don't want to go to the school." But she said, "There is no other alternative. You have to go to the school." Then again he made so many excuses. Then last she says, then the boy said, "Mama, tell me one thing. On Give me one reason that I should go to the school, in spite of all these things which I have told you." Then mommy said, "The only excuse you have is that you have to go to the school because you are the principal of the school and you're 55 years old. So you have to go to the school. There is no other alternative for you." Now let us look at some famous stories of Buddha. It seems Buddha was giving some lectures to the brahmacharis, and that time people used to travel from one village to the other village. So Buddha used to give in a particular his ashram, and then all of them used to walk back to their village. So that day Buddha was actually talking about brahmacharya, that what is the importance of brahmacharya. So and as he was talking and as they were going back, uh, there was a river they had to pass. So that river was in spate because of the heavy rains, and because of that, uh, so Buddha found this lady. He saw one lady struggling to come out of the water. It's kind of a it was stuck in. She was stuck because of the heavy spate of the river. So what Buddha did immediately, he just left these devotees who were with him and ran to her rescue and lifted that lady and put her on the shore, made her comfortable, and then moved forward. Now, one of the disciples of Buddha were Anand. He was later on he became a bodhisattva. That's a different story. And he was very angry with Buddha, and he was literally burning in anger. He used to get angry very fast. So he asked Buddha after some time, "Buddha, just now you were talking few hours back about brahmacharya, and now you yourself have broken the rule of brahmacharya of touching a lady. And how come you went and not only touched, rescued the lady and put her on the shore? This is too much. I don't accept it." See the reply what Buddha gave. Buddha said, look, I went, I carried the lady and put her on the shore. I went to save her, carried the lady and put her on the shore. I went, rescued her, carried her and put her on the shore. You are still carrying her. You are still carrying her. See the fun, friends. We carry burdens and we carry perceptions. We carry, you know, things about opinions about others in our mind exactly the same way. So what Buddha was trying to tell, whatever happens, good or bad, just drop it. And when you drop it, then only you will become a Buddha. It seems one day, Shani, God, and Lakshmi were fighting with each other. That who's more powerful? Shani said, oh, you don't know my powers. If I curse you, there's no God in the whole Godheads, where I have not cursed and they have suffered because of me. I remain in people's life for 7.5 years. So if I curse them, they're finished. Then Lakshmi said, oh, what's the big deal about it? So now if I'm not there, people cannot exist without me. Without money, what people will do? I run the whole economy of, the earth, the heaven, and the patal loka. All the lokas are controlled by me. So what are you in front of me? And like this, they were arguing that who's more powerful than them or who's more better than each other. So it could not be resolved. So finally, they went to Lord Venkateshwara. And Lord Venkateshwara, then now he is a god of justice. Now he is also a very intelligent god. So what he did, he said to both Shani as well as Lakshmi, you do one thing, both of you walk towards the door and come towards me. Lakshmi, you go to the door and come towards me. And Shani, you go to the door and come towards me. And like this, both of them did 2-3 times. They went towards the door of Vaikunt, and come back in. Like this, they did it 2-3 times. So Vishnu finally gave his judgment and he said, Shani, you look nice going. And Lakshmi, you look nice coming. So he satisfied both of them. I think all of us know Narad Muni. Narad Muni is well known for creating confusions among gods and people, so that he tells one thing to others and he never keeps anything with him, and he keeps on troubling our Lord by again and again coming and disturbing him and saying Narayan, Narayan. It seems Narad Muni is a very knowledgeable god, and he is well versed in 64 arts. So one day, God had no other work, so he wanted to play with our friend Narad Muni, because normally he keeps on troubling. Lord said, let me trouble him today. So he called Narad Muni, Namaskara, Banni, please come. I want to talk to you. So he said, yes, sir, what do you want, Narad? Narad? So now he said, Narad, what is the biggest thing in the universe? He said, oh, he was very good in geography. He says, oh, Earth is the biggest. It's the biggest element in the universe. Then the Lord started laughing at him and he said, Narad, come on, you have learnt geography. Now in geography, what is Earth made up of? Earth is made up of 3/4 of water, and the land is only 1/4 of it. So how can you say that Earth is the biggest? He says, oh yes, yes, yes. Then you also know that the Earth is the part of one of the planets in this universe. He said, now what is the biggest in that? He said, now sir, the universe is the biggest. I agree with you, sir. Then he said, okay, you have heard of the story of mine, where in one of my Vaman Avatara, I went through the entire universe, the Patal Lok, the Bhu Lok, the earth as well as the heaven. In 3 steps, I conquered all the universe. Complete universe was covered by me. So now who's the biggest? And he says, sir, you are the biggest, Lord, sir. You are the biggest in this earth. Then he said, you have also heard your story of Narsimha Avatar, in which I go to rescue of Prahlad, when just he calls for me and I immediately go to rescue him. Now, who's the biggest? He says, yes, yes, sir, I agree with you. Prahlad is the biggest. So he said, now this was a lesson he wanted to give to Narad, that the devotee is above God. Devotee is above God. And if you have total faith, like Prahlada in the Lord, Lord has to come to your rescue. He will rush to your rescue. So this was a very nice story, humorous story. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this. So let us look at some of the humorous shayaris. जब जब तेरा एसएमएस आता है, जब जब तेरा एसएमएस आता है, तो मेरी रोंग रोंग में गुदगुदी होती है, मेरे रोंग रोंग में गुदगुदी होती है। कसूर तेरा नहीं है जालिम, कसूर तेरा नहीं है जालिम, मेरा मोबाइल फोन ही वाइब्रेटरी मोड पे रहता है। बहुत कुछ लुट चुका है, बहुत कुछ लुट चुका है तुझसे मिलने के बाद, बहुत कुछ लुट चुका है तुझसे मिलने के बाद, इसलिए एक एक चीज चेक करता हूँ, एक तेरे आने से पहले, दूसरा तेरे आने के बाद। गम वो चीज है, गम वो चीज है, गम वो चीज है जिसे पेपर चिपकाया जाता है। So, friends, I hope you enjoyed this small presentation of mine. Just wanted to tell you that it's very, very important to develop humor in our life. So, please develop humor. Listen to humorous stories, humorous jokes, and if you want to get in touch with me, please write to me on utopialearnings@gmail.com or connect on facebook.com Dr. Sumit Sharma. See our website www.utopialearning.co.in, and I'm also available on WhatsApp on 782-911-7766, of course +9 +91-782-911-7766. So thank you friends, and look forward to see you again, and God bless each one of you.